Hello everyone, and welcome to another Let's Playthrough with me, your host Tim. And today, over the course of the next, well, probably a few months to a year, we're going to be playing through Planescape Torment. Some prep, as usual, and there should be a link here to skip the prep if you just want to leap right into the game. Let's go over what Planescape Torment is really quick, and we'll go into what I've seen so far, without ruining a whole lot of any of the story for you guys. Planescape Torment is similar to Baldur's Gate. It'll be an isometric top-down view where we control a group of would-be heroes attempting to solve the problems the game throws at us. Fallout would be another good example of it, only we do have control over all of our companions besides just our main character. It's a role-playing game, and be warned, this game has a huge amount of text. In fact, I'm just going to say that the amount of reading and speaking I will be doing in this game will far exceed any of the other games I have ever played. This is literally going to be hours of me just reading. So if you don't like that sort of thing, you might not want to watch this playthrough. A friend of mine said he'd go ahead and listen to it all though, so I'm going to do it. And to tell you the truth, recording this game and uploading it will be the only way I actually manage to beat it, because I get so far in this game and then I stop. So this will not be a completely blind. I want to say that maybe about half of the game is blind, or maybe less than that, or more. I never beat this game. I got as far as the brothel. So if you've played this game, great, then you know how far I've gotten. If you haven't played this game, then there's a brothel in the game, and that's the last I ever played of it. So I think that's about good. I'm gonna go ahead and check to see how the recording's coming out, and assuming my voice is reasonable, we'll go ahead and create ourselves a character. So I will see you guys in a few seconds. Okay, it sounds like my voice is coming out great, so we're ready to go. Alright everyone, so before we do it, I wanted to say thank you to all the modders whose stuff I am using to make this game look, run, and feel as great as it does. So I'm going to cover it really quick. I'm running the Biggs widescreen mod, which allows this game to be run at a higher resolution. Ghost Dog's incredible user interface, which allows the user interface to support this higher resolution, and tweaks the font size, I believe, so that it's actually legible. Or maybe that's the other mod instead. I'm using the Ultimate Fix Pack, which fixes bugs, glitches, and quests you couldn't complete from the original game. I'm running Unfinished Business, which adds quests to the game, things that were already programmed in but never really completed. And I'm running the Tweaks Pack. And I'm running the Tweaks Pack in order to give my characters the maximum amount of hit points they can earn whenever they level up, because I was never a fan of the random hit points in these games. And also, I think it's running the Tome of Cheats, which will be an item in the game we can use to blatantly cheat, basically, to give ourselves stat points and stuff like that. I will not be using that book. We're just going to be holding on to it in case something glitches and I need to fix something. But otherwise, we won't be using it. So I think that's good. So we're going to go ahead and make ourselves a new life, and there will be a link during New Life in case you want to skip it, because it will take me a few minutes to cover our character creation. So let's go ahead and click New Life and we'll be set to go. Okay, so unlike most role-playing games, you will not get to pick your appearance in this one. This is who we are. We are this gentleman. We don't actually even have a name. New Life, and that's it. We are unable to name ourselves either. This is us. These stats represent all, obviously, our different characters' attributes. This game uses the 2nd edition rule set. So with that in mind, so second edition of Advanced Dungeons & Dragons, in case you ever played it. I loved 2nd edition D&D. It was my favorite edition whatsoever. I understand it completely. But, well, a lot of other people don't. So we're going to have to cover some basics here. First off, all these stats affect you in this game a little differently than they would a normal character. So let's go over each of them and how it affects us as this whoever we are. So first off, we have our strength. Our strength affects our ability to hit and to do damage and our carry weight. The higher the strength, the more often we will hit and the more damage we will do. You need a strength of at least, I want to say 15, in order to see any combat benefit from strength. Wisdom affects our ability to resist hostile effects, like spells or things of that nature, being poisoned, etc. In this game, a high wisdom score also gives you a bonus to any experience points you gain, effectively letting you level up quicker. High points of wisdom also give you a better chance of story-related things happening in the game as well. We will be taking a high wisdom. You need a wisdom of at least 15 to see any return in your investment. Wisdom also would grant you bonus clerical spells if we are a cleric, but I don't believe we can become one in this game. Constitution affects the number of hit points that we have. Hit points are displayed in the lower left-hand corner of our character, as you can see. When your hit points are reduced to 0, you are dead. A high constitution of at least 15 begins to give you more hit points whenever you level up. And in this case for us, a very high constitution, also, actually not even a very high constitution, increases the hit point regeneration rate of our character. In this case, we will regenerate hit points even in combat with a high constitution for us. Our other characters are not so lucky, I believe. Again, you want at least a 15 in constitution to see some benefit from it. It also affects your ability to be resurrected and for system shock in case you took massive amounts of damage, but I don't know if that's going to happen in this game. Charisma affects how well people like us. We can get more money from quest rewards and have an easier time trying to persuade people of certain things with a high charisma. We need a charisma score of at least 13 to see some sort of benefit from charisma. Dexterity. Dexterity affects our ability to hit with ranged weapons, and affects our ability to act quickly in combat, and reduces our armor class. The higher your armor class in this game, the easier it is for things to hit you. So you generally want to have an armor class of 0 or lower. Our armor class currently is 10, which is terrible, so hopefully we can get that lowered somehow. You need a dexterity of at least 15 to see some sort of return again for your investment. And intelligence. This will unlock different conversation options in the game. Higher intelligence means you can speak more affluently. It also affects your spell capabilities if you are a mage. A higher intelligence increases the chance of you successfully copying a spell into your spell book so you can cast it in the future, and gives you access to greater spell schools. Basically, you're going to want at least an intelligence of, I think, like 17 or 18 if you plan to be a wizard in the end game for this. Alright, and that's generally our character. We have 21 character points to start, so let's see how we want to do this. I'm thinking for our character, we're going to play someone who's not too involved in combat. So we're going to take at least a 15 in wisdom to start. That was 6 points as well. Holy crap, we have 15 left. I like playing roguish characters in games, and so I'm going to be taking a constitution of at least 15 as well. Next, I think I want some charisma and some intelligence to help us start. And that leaves me with 1 more point left. Holy crap. So, what to put this in? I think we'll put this point into wisdom. I think at 16 we get a 5 or 7% increase in our experience points for our character. So this is us. Yep, alright. Oh, by the way, we will always look like this, but your stats obviously might make your character might not quite look like this, as it were. In our case, we look like a big hulking brute, but our stat points don't fit our character, as it were. We're probably scrawny, but we actually are not hideous looking, like this poor... Oh, this actually gentleman isn't that bad looking, but, well, whatever. Okay, I'm done rambling on. Alright, I think we're good to go, everyone, so let's go ahead and hit accept life, and we will discover what on earth is happening.
Hey, Chief. You okay? You playing corpse or you putting the blinds on the dusties? I thought you were a deader for sure.
Who are you? Me? The skull seems indignant. How about you start, Scabby? Who are you? I asked you first, Skull. Yeah, and I asked you second. What's your name? You first, Skull. Man, you're tighter than a wet rope. Alright. I'll be the nice guy here. Me? I'm Mort. Mort Richterskrin. Now what name is unfortunate enough to have you as its owner? I don't know. You don't know who you are, huh? You could have just said, "Pike it, Burke." Well, that's okay. Pretend you're clueless. See if I give a fig. I'm Mort. Hail and well met and all that wash. Where am I, Mort? You're in this dump called the mortuary. It's this big black structure with all the architectural charm of a pregnant spider. The mortuary. Am I dead? Well, now I don't know about that, but the mortuary is the closest thing to a morgue you're gonna find in this burg. Burks haul dead bodies here, bury 'em, burn 'em, and if you're really lucky, you get brought back to life as a slave. Not the best spot on the plains to be. If I was you, I'd dig up the nearest exit and give this place the laugh. I'm sorry. The mortuary? What is this place? Like I said, the mortuary. You okay, Chief? You don't look too good. How do I look? How badly scarred am I? It's like some bastard decided to paint you with a knife. You're scarred all over. Even your back, except... Say, you've got a whole tattoo gallery on your back, Burke. Spells out something. Oh, what does it say? It looks like directions. Let's see. It starts with, I know you feel like you've been drinking a few kegs of Styx wash, but you need to center yourself. Among your possessions is a journal that'll shed some light on the dark of the matter. Farad can fill you in on the rest of the chant, if he's not in the dead book already. Don't lose the journal or we'll end up in the Styx again, and whatever you do, do not tell anyone who you are or what happens to you, or they'll put you on a quick pilgrimage to the crematorium. Do what I tell you. Read the journal, then find Farad. No wonder my back hurts. Do you know someone named Farad? Nobody I know. Then again, I don't know many people. Still, some Burke's got to know where to find this guy. Once we get out of here, that is. Did I have a journal with me when I was lying here? No, you were stripped to the skins when you arrived here. Besides, looks like you got enough of a journal written on your body. How do I get out of here? Well, now that is a good question. Sand's running through the glass for you, Chief. The dustmen find you, they'll attempt to correct your resurrection problem by tossing you in the crematorium. If you keep playing dead, you'll go to the crematorium anyway. A Modron's choice, eh? What to do? Dustmen? The Dusties? They watch this place here. You can't miss them. They have an obsession with black and rigor mortis of the face. They call themselves the Dustmen and pretend they're a faction, but they're just an adult bunch of ghoulish death worshippers. Stay clear of them. So how do I get out of here? Okay, so he's saying the same thing again. So I'll escape. Oh, good idea, Chief. Why didn't I think of that? How you gonna escape, huh? I'll give you a clue. It involves a little cooperation. Okay, keep talking. From where I'm sitting, it's obvious you need to get out of here. Me? I can afford to wait. The only danger I am in is dying of boredom. We could lend each other a hand. Keep talking. It may not look like it, but I could help you out of here, and you could help me out of here. I haven't got any hands, so I'm in a bit of a quandary. You're missing what's in your cranium, while I got plenty of experience and know-how to get you out of this dive. We cooperate, and we both come out ahead. Deal, Burke? Deal. I have a bad feeling that fate has destined we travel together, Mort. Fate can go squat on a halberd for all I care. Listen, Chief, pay attention to how often bad and fate show up in the same sentence, and you'll catch on to one of life's little mysteries. Best thing to do is tell fate to wrap itself in Razorvine. There's always another option that fate never lets on. I'll keep that in mind. All right, then. Now, come on, let's give this place the laugh. The doors out of here are locked, so we'll need the key. Chances are one of the walking corpses in this room has it. Walking corpses? Yeah, the mortuary keepers use dead bodies as cheap labor. The corpses are dumb as stones, but they're harmless and won't attack you unless you attack first. Is there some other way? I don't want to kill them just for a key. What? You think it's gonna hurt their feelings? They're dead. But if you want a bright side to this, you kill them, at least they'll have a rest before their keepers raise them back up to work again. Alright, I'll take one of them down and get the key. Well, before you do that, arm yourself first. I think there's a scalpel on one of the shelves around here. Note, search the shelves in this room for a weapon to attack the zombies with. Alright, I'll look for one. One last thing, those corpses are as slow as molasses, but getting punched by one of them is like being kissed by a battering ram. If they start getting an edge on you, remember, you can run, and they can't. Use it to keep some distance if you need to recover. Alright, thanks for the advice. Okay everyone, welcome to the game proper. I'm going to cover this really quick. I'm not going to go in too much detail. Down here's the menu. These, you can see me down here in the lower left. This over here is Mort. These are empty character slots for our party. We can carry 5 other people with us in our group. Over here is the main menu, for example. On the very lower right, we can save the game, we can pass and try to rest, we can learn spells. We can also look at the map, for example. This is everything that we've got so far. We are in the southwest preparation room. Well, that's handy to know, so it's going to sweep around like this then. We can add notes in here. We can also see the world map, which shows you a bit of, I guess, all the different places we'll be able to go later on. Looks like it's actually engraved in our skin. You can also You can also access this by right-clicking. And it will bring up a context menu here, and we can access all the things in the lower left-hand corner, and we can also interact with, like, we can want to talk to people, use items, use keys. Use special abilities, use items on our hotbar, cast spells, or just attack something with our weapon. You can control people by clicking and dragging over them in order to select everyone in your group, or you can select people individually. The numbers 1 through, I guess, 6.
Good as done.
Activate your people. There's Fog of War in the game, as you can see. There's Dark Fog of War for areas you haven't actually ever been in yet, and there's Light Fog of War for places you've been but don't have line of sight to.
Done.
Okay.
You can look at things by hovering over them. If the cursor has a question mark at the end of it, then you can left-click, and it will give you some information. This slab is covered with dried blood and other remains. The symbol will change to something context-sensitive, depending upon what it is that you might be able to do there. So, for example, we can search this desk.
All right.
And we find 2 bandages. This gives me an excuse to talk about my inventory really quick, so let's pop that up. Here's my inventory. This up here are my quick slots. We can put our bandages in there, for example, and we can quickly access it then, if we want, by right-clicking and using it in combat. We can also just pause combat by bringing this up and right-click to use items, however, from this screen. Ranged ammunition goes in this second row. Your weapons you're allowed to equip go in this one. Currently, we just have our fists. Anything on the ground will be located here, and you can just drop stuff off. This is our actual inventory. We currently have the Tome of Cheats, and we also have 4 pounds out of 50. We're not going to use this book, but we're going to hold on to it until we leave this place. These are all the different slots for the equipment our character is allowed to carry. We can have 1 earring, some chest armor, 1, 2, 3 tattoos, something on our wrists, something in our hands, like a weapon, 2 ring slots, and, for us, an eyeball. This is your eye. It looks like it's seen better days. I love the pun. Eyes are plug and play in this game for us, so we'll be able to put in different eyes. It'll be explained later. This is the amount of money that we are currently carrying. We have 0 commons. This is our hit points, 20 at 20. This is our name, the nameless one, and we are currently a fighter. And this is our armor class, 9. This is actually a helmet, in case you can't tell. Let's actually take a second to go over our journal really fast. Any quests we get will go in here. We can click on them to get some information upon what we're supposed to be doing here. In this case, we have to find Farad, or Farid. I'm going to call him Farid, and find our missing journal. Any completed quests will go here along with the result of that. Any creatures we find will go in here. We have NPCs, we haven't currently met any of them, and player characters, which is both us and anyone else that could be put into our party. This is us. You are nameless. You awoke on a slab in the mortuary in Sigil, covered in scars and tattoos. Your memory's gone. Who has done this to you, and why? You don't know. Yet. But you're going to find out. we also have Mort. Mort is a talking skull. His sole weapon seems to be his mouth, whether by taunting or biting. He seems to be along for the ride, whether you want him around or not. You are somehow curious as to how he's able to float around. Actually, yeah, how does he float around? As you can see, he's got eyeballs, too. I mean, he technically doesn't even have a throat, so there must be some sort of magic effect or curse keeping him in this current state. Mort himself has an inventory, but as you can see, he's very different. He can't equip any pieces of gear, but he does have hot slots, and he can carry 90 pounds of weight. Don't even ask me where he can carry it. His weapon is also his teeth. If you right-click on a weapon, it will show you the type of damage it does and how fast it goes, how much it weighs, and any proficiency slot it requires in order to use that weapon. In this case, he can bite and it takes fists. Don't ask. Mort's bite is lethal, and he can masticate someone to death. As long as his quick weapon slots are not filled, Mort can always select bite as his current weapon. Mort's bite is his default attack. Although the amount of damage he can do with his bite is relatively small, it allows him to attack quickly, which can infuriate any mage who's trying to cast a spell. The way this game works is that if spellcasters are struck, there's a good chance that they will lose their spell and have to start casting a different one, or cast a similar spell and start over again. Mort's armor class is also 2, so he is much harder to hit. He also has 20 of 20 hit points. Let's go over a few more things, and then we'll be ready to go. This is our character sheet. We've already covered the majority of this. However, we now have this symbol. This represents our alignment. This represents our attitude towards things in life. In this case, we are currently true neutral. We believe in maintaining the balance of law and chaos. We don't tip the scales between the two, and tend to oppose anyone who does. In other words, well, it's kind of odd, but if too much good is happening, we might do something a little evil. If too much evil is happening, we might do something a little good. And we do it both. We don't have any opinion on whether or not we will obey the law or not. Mort himself also has an alignment. Actually, where are you, Mort?
Sure, why not?
His alignment, though, is a different symbol. He's chaotic good, so he believes in doing good deeds when possible, and he doesn't necessarily agree with the law all the time. So whatever does the most good, irregardless of what the law says, is what he'll try to do. There's also some other information here. This is the amount of experience points we currently have, and this is how much it requires for the next level. Experience in this game is shared amongst all the people in your group. So if, for example, you were to gain 200 experience points and you had 4 people, that would mean that each person would gain 50 experience points. They wouldn't all gain 200. So keep that in mind. The larger your group, the more experience is divided amongst all your peoples. This guy, Mort, apparently has an even lower armor class against different types of attacks. Actually, it looks like if anything attacks him that's not a magic attack, he's going to gain even a lower armor class. And this is kind of weird because it says armor class versus missile +2, which you would think would raise your armor class to 4, but it does the opposite. It actually lowers your armor class, in this case, to 0. He's also got incredible resistances against just about everything. Wow, look at that. 100%, 75. Thaco. So, Thaco is your ability to hit an enemy creature. Just like us, enemies have an armor class. Thaco stands for 2 hit armor class 0. If the creature's armor class was 0, you would roll a dice, and if you got it higher than a 19, you would hit the creature. The die roll is between 1 and 20. His current Thaco, though, is 18. I don't know why he's getting a +1. He has 1.5 attacks per round. This means that every other round, he will gain an additional attack, I believe is what that means. So he attacks very quickly and attacks often in combat. He's got decent saving throws against certain effects. You'd roll a dice and you'd have to roll higher than these. He's pretty proficient at fists. He's got +1 to hit, +2 damage, and he's decent actually at opening doors too. Nice, not bad. I believe Mort has a stat you can't see called Luck, which is giving him bonuses to everything, and it inflicts negative penalties on enemies who try to hit him. Alright, so I think that's about it. Let's go ahead and start exploring now a little bit. Oh, I still need a weapon, so we should keep searching for other shelves. These barrels contain a murky liquid. It smells like a cross between vinegar and formaldehyde. Well, they are, I guess, preserving corpses in here. All right, you found the scalpel. Now go get those corpses. And don't worry, I'll stay and provide valuable tactical advice. Maybe you could help me, Mort? I will be helping you. Good advice is hard to come by. I meant help in attacking the corpse. Me? I'm a romantic, not a soldier. I just get in the way. When I attack this corpse, you better be right there with me, or you'll... Oh... I don't want to be rude. Alright then. Time to introduce these corpses to the second death then. Although you can select the attack cursor from the quick menu, pressing the A key toggles the attack cursor without using the menu. Let's go. So you can either right-click, click on the attack button, and then you can click on a corpse like this one to attack it.
Done.
Or just hit A, and then you can attack it like that.
Done.
And
I'm
let's
gone.
see if he had the key on him. More bandages. You can trade equipment amongst people by clicking and dragging it into their inventory. They must be somewhat close to you, however, or the person that's doing the trading in order for this to happen. And we didn't even equip our weapon. Oh, let's search this as well. Whatever crazy thing this is. Looks like some sort of sewing machine? Like the other corpses in this room, this one is covered in blood and completely gutted. Alright, let's try talking to the zombie. Maybe we can communicate with it. This corpse's head lolls back and forth on its shoulders. Judging from the angle of the neck, it looks like this man may have been hanged. The number 825 has been painted on the side of its head. I'm looking for a key. Do you happen to have one? Chief, they can't hear you, alright? They're dead. But you're dead, and you're talking to me. Yeah, but I'm special. Death couldn't kill my zest for life. These corpses here? Mort rolls his eyes. They probably didn't have much personality to begin with. I see. Look, Chief, watching you trying to swap the chant with these corpses isn't doing much for my morale. Let's leave the corpse talk to the barmies, alright? Alright then, let's go. Alright, so then let's see if he has a key on him. Examine the corpse, see if he's carrying a key. The corpse is carrying nothing, but you happen to notice its hands are heavily bandaged. The bandages might be usable if the corpse was disposed of first. It was great talking to you. Farewell. Alright, let's kill it.
Alright.
Huh? Good as done.
The game settings can be used to alter when combat pauses. I have it set such that whenever someone's target dies, the game will pause automatically. Let me go ahead and redeclare what I want people to do. Oh, look at this guy. The face on his face has been completely shaved off. A bloody cloth covers the remains of this corpse. The stench rising from the body is almost unbearable. This corpse stops and stares blankly at you as you approach. The number 782 is carved into its forehead, and his lips have been stitched closed. The faint smell of formaldehyde emanates from the body. Let's see if he's carrying the key. This corpse looks like the one with the key. It's holding it tightly in its left hand, its thumb and forefinger locked around it in a death grip. It looks like you'll need to hack the corpse's hand off to free the key. I need that key, corpse. Looks like you're not long for this world. Notice how Mort attacked twice and I attacked once. That's because he has 1.5 attacks per round. The head of this bronze key has been twisted around itself several times, so that it resembles a screw. If Mort is to be believed, it unlocks one of the doors in the preparation room. When you use keys in this game, if they can be used somewhere else, or there's a chance I guess, the key will not be removed automatically.
All
but
right.
most keys, when you use them to do something, will be removed from your inventory if they can't be used again.
Done. Locked.
Okay, and that should have automatically unlocked if this key could unlock that door, which I guess it can't. Oop, I gotta sneeze. 1 second.
Done.
This corpse looks like someone turned it inside out. A machine at the head of the table has peeled the skin off the forehead to give direct access to the skull. Oh my god.
I'm gone.
We must be used to seeing stuff like this, because I'd probably be vomiting upon seeing stuff like this. Oh man. Can you imagine waking up in a room like this, filled with dead, dissected corpses? Looks like someone is in the middle of dissecting this corpse.
Done.
I guess... Oh, I can look at these. A system of rails is running through the whole room. It looks like the slabs in the room can be moved around on these rails. So they probably move you here, and then they must have... I guess you can tilt these as well, like rotate these slabs.
Locked.
Alright, we're not going that way.
Done.
Sure, why not?
Done.
Sure, why not?
Okay, yep, and we just lost an item, which was the key to open this door.
I'm gone.
Psst, some advice, Chief. I keep it quiet from here on. No need to put any more corpses in the dead book than necessary, especially the femmes. Plus, killing them might draw the caretakers here. The corpses here, where did they all come from? Death visits the plains every day, Chief. These shamblers are all that's left of the poor sods who sold their bodies to the caretakers after death. Enlighten me. Who are these caretakers? They call themselves the Dustmen. You can't miss them. They have an obsession with the black and rigor mortis of the face. They're an adult bunch of ghoulish death worshippers. They believe everyone should die, sooner better than later. I'm confused. Why do these Dustmen care if I escape? Weren't you listening? I said the Dusties believe everybody's got to die, sooner better than later. You think the corpses you've seen are happier in the dead book than out of it? Before you said something about making sure I didn't kill any female corpses. Why? What? Are you serious? Look, Chief, these dead chits are the last chance for a couple of hardy bashers like us. We need to be chivalrous. No hacking them up for keys, no lopping their limbs off, things like that. Last chance? What are you talking about? Chief, they're dead. We're dead. See where I'm going? Oh, you can't be serious. Chief, we already got an opening line with these limping ladies. We've all died at least once. We have something to talk about. Although appreciate men with our kind of death experience. Wait, didn't you say before that I'm not dead? Well, alright, you might not be dead, but I am. And for where I'm standing, I wouldn't mind sharing a coffin with some of these fine, suiny cadavers I see here. Wart starts clacking his teeth as if in anticipation. Of course, the caretakers would have to part with them first, and that's not likely. Alright, I'll try to remember that. Look, Chief, it's obvious you're still a little addled after your kiss with death, so I got 2 bits of advice for you. 1, if you got questions, ask me. Alright? Alright, if I have any questions, I'll ask you. 2nd, if you're half as forgetful as you seem to be, start writing stuff down. Whenever you come across something that might be important, jot it down so you don't forget. If I had that journal I was supposed to have with me, I'd do that. So start a new one then, Chief. No loss. There's plenty of parchment and ink around here to last you. Alright, it couldn't hurt. I'll make a new one then. Use it to keep track of your movements. If you ever start to get cloudy on important things, like who you are, or more importantly, who I am, use it to refresh your memory. Alright, I got it. Let's go.
Updated my journal.
You'll hear that a lot. Whenever anything even remotely interesting or important to the game happens, we'll mark it down in our journal so that we can remember it later. So for example, this is everything we picked up so far. I'm just going to read one entry and then we're done. Day 1. My original journal's gone missing, so I've started a new one. I woke up in a place called the mortuary. I don't know who I am or what I'm doing here or even how I got here. The only person I encountered was a chattering skull named Mort. While he was checking my wounds, he discovered a set of directions tattooed on my back. Did I leave this message for myself? Looks like I'll need to find this Farad and my journal. Let's try talking to Mort really quick.
Hey, what's eating you, Chief?
How do I use these bandages? You use them. Staunch bleeding and all that. Thanks, I think I can handle it. Okay.
I'm gone.
Well, I'm going to go check on the recording again to see how it's coming out, and we'll be back and we'll begin exploring more of the mortuary. So I will see you guys then. Thank you for watching.